on YouTube or not. And then pretty much here, we'll see if it goes on YouTube. I haven't used StreamYard in a... Oh, there we go. All right, that's what I wanted to do. Now I'll stop the echo. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Hey, everybody. It is your old pal, Rob. This camera, not that camera. Today, we're going to be talking about the 10th anniversary edition of Secrets of the Lost Tomb. That is right now on GameFound, not Kickstarter, on GameFound. Okay. And with me is the creator, the man with a plan, the legend himself, the guy who created more games that have been successful and fantastic. And he even did, what is it, Space Station, Secrets of the Lost Space Station 2? I mean, you did that.
Yeah, Secrets of the Lost Station. That's right.
Secrets of the Lost Station, Agents of Smirch. Okay, I mean, we can go on and talk about everything, but the bread and butter has always been this game. And this man has been a friend, a confidant, has always been there, has been always checking up on me when I have been ill over the last couple of years, and always had just always has been good to me. None other than great Chris from Everything Epic Games. My brother, welcome.
Welcome.
Well, I couldn't spit anything out.
Welcome to the tomb. That's what I can say in return is welcome to the tomb.
Yeah, welcome to the tomb.
It's been 10 years.
The first thing I'm going to ask
100 years.
The first thing I want to ask you, and really, really hit home, what made you do the 10th anniversary edition?
You know, it's been, as I said, 10 years feels like 100 years. You know, when you're a small company like me, I'm one guy, I have one employee who works for me really hard, a bunch of great freelancers. You know, it's not easy to, number one, stock up on thousands and thousands of extra units to try to sell to retail or to people online. There's a lot of games out there. There really are. As we all know, I'm a huge game collector myself. I play games. I love games. And, you know, 10 years ago when we did this game, it was my first game. It was the first thing I ever did. I was an English teacher for 5 years. And while I was an English teacher, I was trying to make a game and worked really hard, made Secrets of the Lost Tomb, and it helped us build this business from nothing. I still don't have any investors. I don't have any, big, bank loans or anything like that. I try to do everything with the means that I have. And I get those means from amazing backers and amazing fans. So what took so long to come back to the tomb is what a lot of people have been emailing me and messaging me and posting online for over 10 years. They have been asking, hey, I can't find this expansion, or when is Secrets of the Lost Tomb coming back? Or I only find it for super expensive on eBay, or I can only get it, at some dusty store where there's one in the back of 10 million other games, and I got lucky, but now I want more stuff. And they kept asking me, and I'm like, I'm in the middle of doing Big Trouble Little China, the game, or I'm trying to finish Secrets of the Lost Station, or I've got these RPGs and all these other projects that I keep creating this new interesting item. And finally, after 10 years, I've finally been able to get to the point where I said, it's time to go back to the tomb. It's time to bring this really fun, unique, cooperative narrative game back to people. And it's really because the fans never gave up on it. There's people out there who it's their favorite game and they love it. And I want to give them more of that and what they love.
Now, I'm going to stop you right there for a second. First of all, I want to apologize to everybody for us starting early. I have not used StreamYard in almost a year and a half where we actually used it on YouTube. So I wanted to start early to kind of see if we had any problems or bugs that we could fix. And of course it worked flawlessly without a problem. And, so we started a little early. I'm really, really sorry about that for those of you that watch this later on. But what I really want to hit home is, you know, Chris is here to answer any concerns or questions that you may have about the game. I've got a ton of questions for him, but I want to fit your questions in, and I want to make sure that we really put you in the right position so you can make a smart decision on this game that is on GameFound right now. It's already raised 519,000, I think.
Epic.
What do we need? Another 500?
Listen, we're coming up with some amazing stretch goals that are really cool, unique, and valuable. Not just junk, but gameplay content. We just unlocked voiceovers and narration for the full game. We just did that yesterday.
By me,
That
right?
what's that?
Voiceovers by me, right?
Oh, I would love for you to do some voiceovers. If you would do it, that would
I'll
be
do it for you. Of
super
course I will.
epic. That would be super fun. We'll pick an awesome scenario that you would relate with, that you can get excited about, and we'll get you in it. That would be epic. Because we're doing the voiceovers in a unique way. Instead of everybody having to download an app and blah blah blah, and maybe you don't have the right iOS for it, or you don't have Android, or I don't know, your computer can't handle it. We're gonna do the voiceovers on YouTube. So
I'm still
you
waiting
can
for my
YouTube
character.
video. Oh, you're in. That's it. You're in. You're going to probably have the highest strength in the game. I'm not sure if everybody's going to be able to handle it. You might have to be partially related to Hercules or something in your background story. We'll figure it out. But one way or the other, it'll definitely be Old Pal as part of the nickname section, and we'll come up with some cool special abilities for you. But yeah, listen, I've been blown away by the amazing and epic support from the fans and backers, the old school fans who came back after 10 years, who've supported me and stuck with me through the thick and thin, through all of the stuff we've done and all of the crazy things that have happened in the world. I don't even want to talk about it in the last couple of years that we've survived through, that we made it through, that we came through, you and me, made it through and survived through to the next side, that they've stuck with me through those things. Not every game is perfect. It's just the way it is. We do our best to make the most epic possible game. Anything can happen, but we always deliver, right? So we always got to get the game out. Even if maybe Chris doesn't make any money, that's okay. We're going to get the game out. We're going to make the best possible product we can for the backers because they stuck with us through it. They trust us. So we want to make them have the best possible game. Secrets of the Lost Tomb is going to be the most epic game we could possibly make.
So obviously this is a success. There's no doubt about it. 500 and change is nothing to scoff at, right?
It's epic.
I mean, what was the original goal? I don't even have it up.
50,113.
50,113. That's all you needed, and here we are. But with the success of this, and I even thought with the success of the first one, why not a sequel? Okay, why? Number one, why didn't you do a sequel? And because of the success of this GameFound already, can we expect a sequel to this?
So that's a great question.
Well, what did you just think you would just come here and I was going to throw softballs at you, bro?
Only the best. Only the best. Listen, Secrets of the Lost Station was originally meant to be that sequel. It turned out to be kind of a different project. It kind of went its own direction. It was the love child of Jim Sammartino, who used to be with me in the business here. He's a huge sci-fi fan. So we basically, he ran away with an amazing epic saga of 96 scenarios, crazy game. That was meant to be the original sequel. However, what's that? I lost your sound. You're muted. I see a mute button in StreamYard here. Mute. You must have hit mute somehow. Any good lip readers in the audience? While he's looking for that, I'll tell you about the sequel, though, because I'm going to answer that question. So the upcoming sequel.
There we go.
Oh, there he's back.
You know who muted me? It was you, because I was gonna. I'll tell you why. Because you started talking about Secrets of the Lost Station, okay? And I was going to ask you, where do you think you went wrong with that?
Secrets of the Lost Station, the number one thing that I think kind of went astray from what the original Secrets of the Lost
Not
Tomb
to get away
essence
from the question that
was,
we had.
is it was a campaign.
Mm-hmm.
It was more of a campaign style game where the scenarios connected themselves, which it just didn't have the same essence and replayability feel as Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Also, we kind of went a little mechanical direction difference where we kind of streamlined the game a little too much, where it became a little too simple in comparison with Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Some people say, some games out there are too fiddly or too complex. Secrets of the Lost Tomb, I think, is right at that right middle ground where there's enough mechanics where you can immerse yourself in the theme, but not so much that each turn takes 30 minutes. I'm looking at you, old school Arkham Horror. I love that game too, and I own all the stuff, but 30 minutes per round, it's too much. So there's got to be that happy medium where your rounds are like 2 or 3 minutes and each player is engaged and they don't get bored. That's where we want to live in the Secrets of the Lost Tomb universe. And Secrets of the Lost Station went a little too simple and had that campaign where it's hard to just jump into a 96 scenario campaign. That's not easy to do. With Secrets of the Lost Tomb, you pick one scenario, any scenario you want out of the entire game's upcoming over almost 70 plus scenarios we're going to be putting out. Each one is completely different, weird, unique, strange theme, things you never thought would exist, things you may be familiar with a little bit, things inspired by mythology, legends, history. Weird spirits are going to come back out into the tomb and refresh and remaster the old scenarios. So you're going to pick a scenario and you're going to go, and I'm going to quote my pal over at Dungeon Dive, from zero to hero. You go from zero to hero in the game. From the beginning of the game, you start with nothing, or whatever your character starts with, and you go all the way up to having crazy artifacts, the Holy Grail, Excalibur, fighting giant monsters until you win or lose the game. And that's one awesome experience. You close the game, put it away, and when you want to play again, you take it back out with any friends or solo and enjoy. You don't need to have the same group or the same people. So it's hard to get those people. It's like trying to play D&D. Where's my group? That's the number one hard thing to do. You can't get the group to show up. So
I mean, look at this place. It's impossible for me to get. First of all, how many times do you want people over your house? Never. Because there's always that stress. You know what I mean? And then a lot of times, if I want to play something here in the studio here, you want something that you can pick up, put down, go do it. And that was always the beauty of that game. Even though I do miss the long box. The long box was glorious.
You mean the giant epic coffin box that people like to call it, the coffin from the tomb?
Yeah, the
itself?
Coffin box was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, now instead of the coffin box, we're going to have the tomb box. So the tomb box is going to be nearly 12 by 12 by whatever it needs to be, which might end up being like 16 or 18 inches, okay? And it's going to fit in a Kallax shelf, or fit in a normal size shelf. And it's going to have a sleeve that is going to go on it. It's going to make it look like a tomb if we hit that level. So it's going to be the tomb box now. And we're going to make it a full storage solution.
We're going to say hi to some people. Matt, who says he's an OG Glory Seeker here. I hope the GameFound campaign can bring this game to a new generation of everything Epic fans, which would be very good. Boy, I can't even say this Russian name, but my brother, thank you very much. I'm getting there. I feel a lot better. Just trying to get back on track here with the channel, just like everything Epic's trying to get back on track after some of the shenanigans that has happened. Don't have to bookkeep the previous session. Yes, I think that's a really great thing that you don't have to. I think it really gives a unique feel to it too, and I really like some of the newer stuff. We're going to go down. I have the box right here. I can just spin this camera around, and we're going to take a look, and we're going to talk about some of the components that's going on. But like we were talking about, do you feel that there'll be a Secret of the Lost Tomb 2, maybe a campaign that you'll implement for those people that do like that campaign feel. It's hard to please everybody. It really is.
It is. I think we're going to
There
probably
has to be
the
balance.
secrets universe away from campaigns. We have an
Mhm.
original campaign book called the Epic Adventure Campaign that we had from 10 years ago. And the book was not actually a campaign itself. It was a way to take the current scenarios and campaignize them. The
Uh,
book didn't really work right. We tried and it didn't really work right. It was an extra supplement. We're going to give it out for free to everybody who's back in this campaign. So if they want to try it, they can try it, but it's kind of an old school method of taking all the scenarios and allowing them to create it into a campaign. But this game's not really meant to be that. It's meant to allow players to pick interesting and weird themes, play an amazing epic one shot in somewhere between 1 hour to 3, 4 hours. Depends on the scenario you pick. Every single one is different length, different feel, and it all says at the beginning of the scenario. So I only got 2 hours to play. You pick a 2 hour scenario or less. You want to play some crazy epic game for half of the day, you pick one of the big, epic, crazy scenarios that are really long. One of the sequel ideas, though, that we do have, and this is something I planned on for over 10 years ago, and this is one of my favorite genres, next to, of course, the pulp action adventure universe, which is kind of that Indiana Jones pulp action, exploring tombs, that kind of stuff. The other, of course, my other favorite is fantasy. So my idea, of course, the next epic iteration in the future, once this is out and everybody's really enjoying. I mean, we're putting out 16 expansions for Secrets of the Lost Tomb. 16 expansions is more expansions than most games ever get, much less, some of the big games out there. So we're putting out a lot of content, but this upcoming sequel idea is, and I'm just going to say it, it's Secrets of the Lost Dungeon. And I know that sounds simple.
No,
but imagine.
No, I'm in. Where do we throw the money?
Well, first we got to finish this one, and then once we're completely finished and everything is perfect and epic on this, we're going to get it into backers' hands. Then we'll start working on other stuff. I've been telling people 2024 is the year of Secrets of the Lost Tomb. We're not taking or doing really any other projects during that year. We're going to be focusing on the tomb to get it to people as quick as we can.
Now, when this ends, what is the estimate delivery time on this?
I'm trying to be as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
And what I've been telling people, and again, I'm trying to underpromise, over-deliver here. I'm going to do my best to do it. But I've been telling people 18 months. So it's about a year to develop and finalize all of these expansions. And again, we're only going to be doing this. It's going to be a year of the tomb. Okay. Finalize all the expansions, play test them, write everything really perfectly, edit everything, re-edit the old rules, make sure everything's super clean, lay everything out, finish up all the art, get all of the illustrations from the artists, all that stuff. Make it as epic as possible. And then at the end of that year, when everything is perfect and ready to go, it goes to the manufacturer. And I'm going to give a 6-month leeway time to manufacture, ship, and fulfill it to the backers. I hope to get it sooner, but I'm not going to promise sooner. I don't want to rush it. We're not looking to rush the game. I want to get it into people's hands, and I want them to get it and love it. I want you to love it. I don't want to make a subpar game that you pick up for $20 that goes in the clearance bin. No, I want this to be people's new grail game that they can't wait to play, that they're excited to take to their game group, that they want to introduce people to, that just makes them wonder, what's the next scenario going to be like? Can't wait to play the next one. That's what I really want this to be for people.
With this newfound focus, does Secrets of the Lost Station get a reskin?
So that's something I've been talking about. If I were to revisit the station, I most likely would have to rewrite almost the whole game. It's got some amazing, gorgeous art, and it actually has some really cool miniatures, honestly.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It has some really cool miniatures. They were some of the best miniatures we've done. They were a little brittle, but they were nice.
That was the big thing.
They were resin, so we had like a foam case for them and stuff, but it doesn't matter what you do. The mailman throws your package across the world sometimes, and stuff happens. It's busy out there. But they had some great art, some great themes, some great miniatures. I would love to go back, remechanize the game using the original tiles, because they're awesome. Some of the art for those tiles are cool.
Right.
Some of the character art, the monsters, and make it like Secrets of the Lost Tomb. Scenario-based, unique scenarios, a completely new, rewritten game with new rules. I probably would even change the name so it wouldn't be confused to something to the effect of Secrets of the Lost Starship or something like that, where then, again, your
Secrets of the Lost Universe.
Secrets of the Lost Universe.
Done. Got it.
All those types. Exactly.
Book it.
1% royalty to Rob's Tabletop World for the name. And booked. And so that's kind of the idea. If I was going to revisit it, I would have to do a full redesign and a rewrite of the game so that it would match the mechanics of the Tomb and the feel of the scenario-based game where you just pick a cool scenario, some Trouble with Tribbles-esque scenario one day. The next day, it's weird aliens that take over your brain. The next day, it's a strange alien artifact.
So it's not wash, rinse, and repeat.
Right. It's just progressing through a campaign sometimes can be fatiguing. But when you can pull the game off your shelf and pick, oh, this looks cool today, let's do this. Yeah, I think it makes it easier and more accessible to play more, to be honest. So that would be the plan if we were to go back to the station, is to pretty much redo the game. But the good thing is we'd have a lot of good art assets, which are gorgeous, that we could bring back. And I could potentially bring back miniatures if we were able to get the funding for that. But, the miniatures,
I think, is it more expensive to do the miniatures or the acrylic standees?
I've been quoting acrylic standees as a potential add-on for the Tomb. I'm waiting to hear back on some pricing. I think when it comes to individual unit cost, it's actually similar. But when it comes to having to add the molds and then all of the sculpts in, you're talking about thousands of dollars per mold, thousands of dollars per sculpt per miniature, which adds up exponentially over the course. Plus, then you have to store the miniature. You have to ship the miniature. You have to have something to put the miniature in. You have to assemble the miniature. All those things add a lot of cost. So
I would love to see acrylic standees. But this brings me to my next question. Okay, here we are. We're sitting at 500 grand. Okay, 17 days left. I mean, has this exceeded your expectation? And if not, what do you have planned for the next 500,000?
Well, it's certainly been the most epic campaign we've ever done yet to date. We've never gotten this much love this quickly on anything, ever, yet, to all of our time. And it goes to show, to me, the creator of Tomb, that people loved it. And it was, believe it or not, back in the day, I mean, I heard from some amazing fans that they loved the game. It was their favorite game. But it was tough back then with just starting off, trying to make the proper amounts of games, learning everything, figuring all the logistics out, trying to get retailers to get your game. It's not as easy as it looks. For big companies, they got these contracts. They just kind of force their games on the shelves. Me, it's not so easy to get somebody to put their game on the shelf. They have to pick between that and Catan.
And the funny thing is, you and I have talked about this, offline, of course, and we've tried to get some of these games in places, and then you get taken advantage of, and all the other things that happen when you're a small publisher. Yeah. It can be very crippling.
Yeah, it's tough, but we got some really cool things coming up. So one of the things that people have been asking for are metal dice. So we're going to definitely be trying to get some metal dice unlocked so we can get those as a neat add-on. One of the most exciting things, though, that we just unlocked, I just want to reiterate, because I'm not sure if you've heard about this or seen this, but we have these plastic card stands that I just did a 3D print of here. It's a plastic dial card stand, okay? We just unlocked these. So you can put your card in the stand, okay, which has all the character stats on it and stuff. This is just a prototype version. And then you can track the health using the dials at the bottom. And they all turn, not really like a click, but like a little turn section, right? And you turn them, you can change the numbers, and you can actually track up to over 100. So that's one of the things we just unlocked.
That's brilliant.
So that really, really works really well for the creature cards. If we were to do acrylic standees, I would probably start with doing the player character adventurers and the boss creatures specifically. This
Right.
way, they're more of the highlighted, really cool, unique stuff. So that could be something that we were kind of looking at doing, a little bit further down the line, where it's something that we can easily print without stressing out about,
This is a game that
costs.
didn't need miniatures.
That's right. That's right.
In all honesty.
That's right.
It's one of those games that it fits everything right and does a fantastic job.
The game plays easier that way, to be honest.
Let's say hi to a few people. Play Till It Hurts, Zeblik. Dango Fett says cardboard standees are just as good as acrylic standees. I don't disagree. Hank, how are you? Backed the all in. I can't wait. There you go. Gave you a lot of love there. Gary, I love the Tomb games. The space one had everything right, but the campaign wasn't just as good as the Tomb scenarios and mini campaign, which is pretty much everything that you said was wonderful. People saying happy Halloween. Dick, how are you? Shannon, Alexis, Funky, how are you? I think that's and Matt. I think we got Matt before. There we go. All right. We don't like to leave people out.
No. Might even have to hit a couple Godzillas while we're here, while I'm live, just one time, because it's fun. And I'm
he's
sure
over there,
he's going to
but
sing for us.
You know how he is.
He's got to sing for us at least once while I'm here. At least.
We'll see.
We'll see
what happens. Let's take a look, because there are some changes in this box that that I have here, and you've made some changes here, and I'm very fascinated by this. So bear with me for a second.
Sure.
No, that's the wrong way. And there we go. And hey, there we go. Huh? The professionalism is mind-boggling. So this is the prototype. So everybody, it's not the final game. And the thing I wanted to point out was these brand new these things right here, the character sheets. I mean, a heck of a lot better than what originally had. And I really love the whole, and you can slip you slip your player card in there and everything like that. Did you come up with this?
Yeah, so we love dual layer board stuff in board games. I really do. I think it's cool because you can kind of create a little bit of a nice table presence while being able to organize all of the stats of whatever you're doing in the game, right? For this, we love to put tons and tons of characters in our games because I like to have tons of variation. I personally, as a gamer, love to be able to choose weird different characters every time I play a game.
Mm-hmm.
And so in Agents of Smersh, a couple Kickstarters ago, we did lots and lots of characters, and we basically developed that clamshell character board holder for Agents of Smersh. And so I said, for Tomb, like when we originally created Secrets of the Lost Tomb, we had a weird thing called the ARM device. And thematically, story-wise, it's really cool. All the Eternal Order of Perseus members, the character adventurers, wear this bracer. And on the bracer, it has kind of like these this little device that when you defeat a creature, a magical creature in the tomb, you can remove its soul using the ARM device, right? And you remove its soul and you collect the souls as a currency in the game. It's part of the game. It's still part of the game. And so we tried to make the character boards look like that, but it was unfortunately a little fiddly. The way you could have to like lay it on top of it had dials to track certain things. So you had dials, you had pegs, and you had a board that went on top of another card stock character sheet. So it became a little bit hard to manage. This, you take your character sheet, just like Rob did. You slide it inside there, you close it down, boom, all of your stats are in front of you. Now, it looks like there's a lot there, but really it's there to help you track your main things. Every character has unique special abilities. That's in the top box next to the art. They have right there 5 main attribute scores. And anytime you would gain a permanent bonus, you'd add a cube to the right of that and you'd track it up to +5 or more. Then you'd have your audacity tracker, your health, and then your courage track. And the courage track is something unique to Secrets of the Lost Tomb. When you fight monsters, it might be a little scary to you. The tomb is a scary place. If you get too scared, you may flee the tomb. You'll also potentially lose stats temporarily as you get scared. But if you gain courage, the opposite happens. You gain bonuses to your stats, bonuses to specific roles and things, and you may get permanent bonuses if you go all the way to the top of the track. And that track's always moving. And it's something you use a lot during the game, so we wanted to make it easy, clean, and fun to use.
And they're right. These standees are, I mean, they really are beautiful. And that, that's, you really don't need much more than that. The story and the game and how this all plays out and how nasty some of these rooms are. Which this is new art too, which is very, very nice. A lot better.
All of the room tiles are redone. There's over 100 plus room tiles in the game, and even more coming out with the expansions. We hired the amazing artist Henning Ludvigsen. He is the original artist who did Mansions of Madness, Imperial Assault, a lot of those big FFG miniatures games and games with cool tiles and stuff. He also did, and I'm super proud of it, is one of our best maps in any game, Big Trouble in Little China. We had to do the map for Big Trouble in Little China, the front and the back, and it looks gorgeous. So I said, when I did Tomb again, I had to get Henning back to help us remaster all of the art. So that's kind of the theme of this Kickstarter, is this GameFound campaign is remastering all of the art. So all the tiles have been redone. They're going to be puzzle pieces in the final version. So this prototype, we couldn't get the custom cutouts and stuff done in time, and before the actual manufacturing and final. There'll be puzzles, so you'll be able to connect them slightly together. So if you have to move big sections of the tomb, you can move them easily. That right there is the tomb track, and the tomb track allows you to track the rounds in the game. And in the middle, you can put a little cube, which will give you a heads up if there's going to be a tomb comet track effect. So it'll kind of remind you, hey, check the comet track effects, that kind of thing that's in the center. So that used to be a dial, and we changed it so that we can actually use it to add additional function to the game, a little bit of reminders.
Now, did you get rid of the bullet action things?
No, absolutely not. We definitely keep the bullet. The bullet has to stay. Bullets are fun. We're changing the graphic. It's going to be a little different. It's a little cleaner bullet, but the bullets are the action tokens. There's in the game, it's pretty unique. The way we balance the game with the number of players, it can play from 1 to 6 players. So if you play one player solo, you get 12 actions. 12 actions per round with your one character. So you could do lots and lots of stuff. You also get companion cards that help you so you can survive longer. But let's say you play with 2 players. Each player gets 6, and so on. So you just divide the actions amongst the players. And it keeps the turns really nice and snappy and fast as you play, so you're moving along.
I mean, the updated graphics, and this isn't even the final stuff, is it?
No, this is just a prototype version. So
it's just a prototype version that I have.
I want to show you some of the new art and give you an idea, a feel for some of the new icons and graphics. This is what we're able to do pre GameFound campaign. And as I said before, we're a small company. We don't have, I wish we had unlimited funds to do all kinds of stuff. Like some of these companies, and it's a tough comparison out there. And I think it's difficult, I think, for some folks to get a good idea and be able to compare companies. But some companies, they have a full final product, final game, final everything when they go to a campaign, because they have those big funds and they can just go ahead and do it. They have big money, big investors. They're from big companies, big licenses, Marvel, Disney, all kinds of stuff. And they can afford $1 million to just get it ready for a campaign. We can't, unfortunately, do that. We've got to do whatever we are able to do to the best of our ability beforehand. I think we showed the game pretty well. I think you get a really good sense for the new remastered feel.
Yeah, and I really like it. It feels new. It feels updated. It doesn't feel outdated. But you speak a lot about being a small publisher. And when you take a look at the games that you've put out, Big Trouble, great game, right? Agents of Smirch, better than the original. I mean, wonderfully done. Secrets. I mean, what can we say? It is what it is. Okay. Some of the other games that you got Monster Hunters on its way. Which do we have an update on that?
It's going to be it's at the manufacturer now. So
Okay.
it's probably about 45 to 60 days away from being done.
Mhm.
God willing, everything goes well. The molds are being finalized, all that stuff. So that's a miniatures game. That's a miniature skirmish game. So when that's done, I'm hoping to ship it in the next couple months.
Do you think, as a small publisher and the success that you've had, because usually when people have success like this, it can propel a company, but it seems like you get held back a lot. I mean, do you feel that way? Because that's the way I kind of perceive it.
It's a challenge out there. You have to really, try to make really, really good choices. I've seen
Do
a lot
people
of companies.
Do people take everything Epic as serious as they do? Do other reviewers on YouTube take everything Epic as serious as they should? Because I kind of feel that they don't at times. Some do, some don't.
I don't make the kind of games that I think that the everyday reviewer wants to play necessarily. I try to make games that fans really want to see. I try to do things differently. I try to do things, in a unique way. I try not to, make the same old Euro game with the same stuff. And it's not that I think, oh,
You
Euro games
have
are
a hit,
dead.
and then you make 27 expansions to it.
I try to make new games too. I try to,
Mhm.
it's been 10 years since I came back to Secrets of the Lost Tomb.
Oh
I
yeah.
try to keep making new stuff and taking chances on unique things that I feel in my heart are going to be great. Not everything is a hit, you know. And again, like I said, I don't have big investors. I don't have a big office building. I don't have 20 million employees where I can just, have on-staff graphic designers and on-staff artists and on-staff people. I answer emails. I answer the comments in the Game Found. My one employee helps answer some emails, and that's it. It's just us. So, we work really hard and try to get things out quickly, but it, not all the reviewers are going to want to see it.
Mhm.
Just
But
kind of the way it goes.
to go through everything that you've gone through, and you've gone through a lot, and we don't have to rehash all that, and everything that you've been through, to have this be the way it is, the success that it is, it has to be rewarding, and you want to stand on top of the box, and I think you want to just go, yeah, all right, I'm here, and I'm not going anywhere.
Well, it goes to show that somebody loves our games,
Yeah,
and it's the best backers in the world. And that's what I
yeah.
always call them. They're the best backers in the world because they trust me. They believe in the games we're making. They know we're going to deliver. Sometimes it's late. And that's why for this one, I'm trying to give a nice big wide gap, and I'm only doing Tomb for the next year after this because I want it to be perfect. I want to only do that. I want people to know that we're doubling, tripling, quadrupling, 13ing down on Secrets of the Lost Tomb to make it the best it can be. And we only have so much capacity, and I'm going to be personally writing it and designing it and making everything great. And we're doing translations for this game, which is
Mhm.
the first time we've ever done language translations, which is a huge thing for us. We've never done it before ever for anything at all. There was a few fans who did a couple things, but we're doing official German, French, Spanish for this game, which is a big deal. We've never done that before. So we're trying to get this game into people's hands that never have had the chance to see it, that we know would love it. And again, as I said, these fans who support us, we know now, like we can see it. We get emails and stuff from people. We know that they care and they want to see us succeed. They want to see us make epic games. It means a lot. We can't do it without them.
Oh
You know?
God, it really comes down to everybody out there in cyberspace that really supports their support. You can't do anything because nowadays you blink your eye, there's somebody coming up with a game idea. How before COVID, okay, how many games were coming to Gen Con and the Spiel? Well over 1,000, and you have to compete out of that to try to sell out of that, and you hope that your idea translates. Then you have the problem, and this is something a lot of people don't realize. You go out and you get an IP like Big Trouble. Somebody just said Big Trouble in Little China is such a great game. Well, if somebody's interested and wants to get that, well, you can't reprint that because you only have a small window, right? With that IP.
Yep. You only get a certain amount of years. You only get a certain amount of time with it. You can try to re-up it, but then you have, of course, all generally all intellectual property licensing contracts have a time limit. They have a specific amount they need up front, all that kind of stuff. And you can only print so many at a time. If you don't get a specific print run, it's almost impossible to get that out. And again, you know, if it takes a little bit of time to get out to retail, every single pallet costs money to keep in a warehouse. And it just drains, you know, and if anything's delayed, you're just waiting and
it kills that window, because if this turns out to be a big success, you don't have the time to get it reprinted.
It's a lot harder than it looks.
Yeah, people don't realize the risk,
hundreds of thousands. Yeah,
they don't realize the risk that you have taken to bring them some of the most unique games out there. And I don't think we get the credit. What's that?
Yeah, that's why we keep coming back. We keep coming back because we want to give these people these amazing epic games.
Mm-hmm.
We keep coming back to crowdfunding because that's one of the best ways we can make games. People trust us. Yes, they're putting their money up front. That's kind of the way we can make these games. You know, again, we don't have investors. We don't have giant debt. We don't have stuff like that out there. You know, we use those funds to make the best possible game and then to reinvest into the next game. That's how I exist. You know,
so you're going to take a whole year and just, you know, I guess our game is put on the back shelf, right?
Well, listen,
we'll have to visit that in 2025.
We got to talk and figure out how we want to do that, because
Okay.
that's going to that's going to be a special project, and that's you know, a unique opportunity. But you know,
that's why
you're going to have to do a lot of design work. I got to put a lot of work on you, so
hey,
I'll be working on the tomb.
Got to remember, you know, brother, I'm back.
You're in the trenches.
Another couple months of treatments, I'm back. So don't worry about me. You can pile as much as you want.
Out of the real life trenches into the fantasy trenches. That's what we want to see you do.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's really incredible. You know, you mentioned Secrets of the Lost Dungeon. I bet you there's a lot of people out there right now going, okay, that's next. When does that campaign start? But you know, I think that's why it's so important to make sure that this campaign is as successful and everybody really, you know, get on board with this. If there's things that you want to see, if there's things that you have ideas for, you know, now's the time to do it while we're in the middle of the campaign. Back this campaign and really push this thing forward.
We really care about what people's input and feedback is. We read everything people say to us. We read all of the comments. We respond to the comments. We're doing a giant poll for historical and unique mythological characters and legendary characters that we're going to put in the game. I got a list of 100 characters that fans have recommended. 100 characters. I'm going to give a poll out now where people are going to have to help narrow that list down, because, again, I want to give you things in the game that you want to see. That's going to be one of our cool upcoming stretch goals. We're going to give out unique character packs.
Guys, you got to vote for me. You got to vote for me. I got to make the cut.
Rob Warren, time traveler.
The mighty.
Yep. Old pal Rob.
Your old pal Rob. Saving your ass again.
Yeah.
Just come from under a stone.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have to come over and I'm gonna have to do a photo shoot of you for the standee. You know, we're gonna have to get you doing some poses. You know, it'd be nice.
Another month, no problem. We'll be back. We'll be back to where we need to be. We'll be back into epic proportions.
That's right.
But now you had mentioned dungeons, of course, and of course, you know, the whole focus of this year is on secrets to make sure that people get it into their hands. Do you have a plan going forward after that?
So for the game itself, for future of the game after we fulfill to the backers,
not so much secrets, because we kind of talked about expansions and a sequel or something like that. But do you have other things that you are thinking of you know, crowdfunding and other games or IPs that you may be working on behind the scenes? You don't have to. Yeah,
so we've got an Agents of Smersh expansion concept that we do want to put out, because we got a lot of really interesting feedback from people of things they want. They'd love to see different ways to do replayable modes without final endings and the big final showdowns. They want more final showdowns, and they want a mode where they can play without the final showdowns. So we want to give them that. We want to give them more epic final showdowns. I mean, the Secrets of Agents of Smersh has 2,000 random encounters in it. And by the way, we just sold out of the game. It's gone.
Did you?
It's gone. We have no more copies. There might be some at retail and certain retail stores that took advantage and bought some, but we couldn't print hundreds of thousands of copies. We printed what we needed for the campaign and a little bit extra, so we could bring some to conventions and to have some for retail, for our own retail store and for retail stores that could pick up some copies, and now it's gone. So, Agents of Smersh is something that we're going to have to do some kind of a reprint campaign on, with a really cool, unique expansion that I think would be great for that.
Now, I want to address some of the questions that people have. First of all, is there a chance of this going to retail?
So the core game, we're going to offer to retail if people want to get the core game at retail. All of the expansions, though, they will all be exclusive from Everything Epic. We're doing that because we want to reward the backers who are able to support us, and also so that we can offer the best possible price to people later. So if they want to get expansions later, and we're only going to have a limited amount, like I said, we're not going to be able to, even it looks like, with the campaign where it is now, we will be able to print some extras, but they will be at a more MSRP type of a pricing per individual expansion. But we will have them on our website, as many as we can afford to get extras for. We'll put them on our website. We'll have them at places like Gen Con and stuff like that. But again, we can only bring so many to those conventions and stuff like that, because the shipping and the freight.
But they will be accessible. It's not like either you back the campaign and if you don't, you're not going to get them.
Yeah, the core game is going to be easier to get for sure. And again, the core game is very replayable. It's got in the new version, it's going to have 13 scenarios. Each scenario is going to be highly replayable because of the way the game plays. You explore the tomb. Every time you explore the tomb, it's different. The core game has over 50 room tiles. Each room tile is unique. So there's no doubles at all in the entire game. You'll never see the same room twice, ever. So every time you explore, let's say in a game you get 20, 30 tiles out. That's a longer game. That's 20, 30 tiles. I don't know. Each one is almost 4 inches. It takes up most of the table. It's huge. It's epic sized. 20, 30, maybe 40 tiles. There's very few where you ever get through the whole stack, and you're going to explore them in a different order, so that things are going to trigger in a different order. You're going to find things in a different order, which makes the game feel very different. There's going to be over 100+ story cards in the game. Each card has an adventure and misadventure on the back. So again, just those random elements alone make the game feel very different. There's going to be a ton of characters too. So the core game alone has a ton of content. And then each expansion will have 4 or more scenarios in each one. New characters, new monsters, new artifacts, items, all the stuff with unique mechanics and things that they have in those scenarios. So there's going to be a lot of epic content for this game.
It definitely does sound epic, of course, but then again, that's all you ever done was epic stuff.
Everything epic.
And just very, very unique stuff. Librarians, I mean, how good was that?
Listen, Librarians is a great game. It came out really, really nice, really clean, easy to play, fun, non-collectible card game. It's super thematic. It did great. It's a great, fun game.
It sure is. And you'll be at Gen Con this year. I mean, what's your convention plans coming up?
So we used to go to PAX Unplugged. I was going to say the next one could be PAX Unplugged, but we stopped going to PAX Unplugged after last year. For us, unfortunately, things just weren't quite right at that convention. So maybe we'll go back another year. But the next convention will probably be, actually, I'm going to be appearing at Board Game Geek Con in a couple weeks. I'm going to BGG Con. Yeah, I'm going to be there. I'm not exhibiting there, but I'm going to be there. I'm actually one of the sponsors of the convention. I'm going to be there to I'm just going to show up. I'm probably going to run some Secrets of the Lost Tomb, It'll be in the last week of the campaign, basically, of the GameFound campaign. So I'll personally be there. My wife will be there. We'll run some games. We'll play some games personally, have fun, say hi to people. And there's also a cool Harry Potter thing going on nearby that my wife really wants to do. So we're doing that too. We'll definitely be at Gen Con for sure. We do Gen Con. We do UK Games Expo every year. We do Essen Spiel in Germany. Those are the 3 big ones. We used to also go to Origins. We might reappear back at Origins this upcoming year. We'll see. We might. Not sure yet. But we will. We always announce when we're going to conventions. We do big email blasts out, let people know where we'll be so they can come say hi to us. We love seeing the fans. It's one of my favorite things. One of the reasons why I keep going is because I like to meet the fans and play games with the fans and introduce people to new games. I just like to see people try new games. You know, whether you like it or not, you got to try a new game, and that's a unique experience.
Somebody asked, would there be a Librarians too? No. I can tell you right now, no.
And it's a tough racket. You know, maybe in the future we might be able to maybe make some more expansions or something for it, but you know, we did a lot of content for it to the best of our abilities.
It was hard just to get that out.
It was a challenging game. It's got a lot of cards, a lot of stills from the show. It was a very great pleasure working with the studio. They were awesome. All of the cast and people that we worked with were awesome and great to work with. But it's just a lot of content, and they're similar to us. They're not a huge company. They're a smaller studio. They have a huge heart. They love what they do. They try to make, you know, unique shows and movies and stuff that they care about. You know, Dean Devlin and their team and Electric Entertainment. You know, they went from things like Independence Day, the movie, you know, to Stargate, to doing other things like the Librarians, things that they love to do. Like this is like, it's obviously a passion project. It's not, you know, giant feature film. It's a cult classic TV show for families and movies for families, you know, and I love them. They're great.
Yeah. No, I really agree. All right. So we're going to wrap things up here a bit. Listen, I'm going to put it to you plainly. Okay. There's 17 days left, but don't wait. The more you unlock, the more we support this, the more he has to come up with imaginary stuff to unlock. Okay. Because eventually he's going to run out of stuff. Can you make him run out of stuff? Can he finally go, listen, at 2 million, I will sacrifice myself and put part of myself in each box or something. You know,
Rob Oren, the miniature statue.
It'd be like that Kiss comic where, you know, my blood will be in the cards or something like that. You know, force him to do some really weird stuff and cause this man to run out of imagination, because that doesn't happen, because he's always got something in his head. He's always hitting me with something. And I'm always going, how do you do this? I can't do this. So the thing is, go support this. Now, not only support that, but tomorrow on Board Game Geek, okay? And I believe it's underneath, I think Helen put the stuff in here. Cystic fibrosis is a very important charity to me. And Stonemaier Games, I don't know if you ever met Jamie. Have you? Yeah. Fantastic guy. Wonderful guy. He's featuring our channel and our charity. Okay. All I need you to do is go over there, either bid on the game or just click a like next to Rob's Tabletop World if you could. Because every click up to 500, they will double that and they will donate that to our charity, which is very important to me. I have a beautiful, beautiful daughter-in-law who is the world to me, and she's on a timer, and I try to support this as much as we can. People with cystic fibrosis don't live very, very long. They need lung transplants and they need a lot of care. And this is important. She has 2 small kids. So this charity is very personal to me. It's, you know, when asked out of the couple charities, because everybody knows I love Make-A-Wish and everything like that, please go over to Board Game Geek tomorrow, support Rob's Tabletop World just with a simple click, or go to Jamie's website. They have these golden eggs or something like that that you can purchase, which if you put in our name, which will help. Any way that you can, I would be blessed and thankful if you help us. Okay, help us raise money for a wonderful charity. Okay, that saves lives. It really does. They're coming a long way, and they've got medication that's helping extend people's lives. And I'm hoping that my daughter-in-law will be here long after I'm gone, because there's no way that I should not outlive any of my children. Okay, and I don't think you would want to outlive your children either. So I'm begging you to help us on this. If I have to grovel, I will. But go over, please support Rob's Tabletop World over with Stonemaier Games Charity Auction 2023 on Board Game Geek. But to close this out, I want to thank one of my dearest friends, the great Chris Bartles. Did I get it right?
Close enough.
It's Greek, isn't it?
Yeah, it is Greek.
All right, go ahead. I don't speak Greek.
But you speak epic, and that's all that matters.
Right.
It's Batarlis, but
Batarlis.
again, don't worry.
Batarlis.
It's everything epic. That's all that really
everything epic. Go over to GameFound. Go support him. This is why we have small publishers with heart, passion, and a caring that goes beyond anything. Okay? He will continue to make masterpieces for you and will listen to the people. Does Hasbro listen to you? Does Fantasy Flight listen to you anymore? No. But Everything Epic does. Make this project personal and make it successful. I'm asking you, and Chris, of course, as humble as he is, isn't going to ask you. He just says, go over there and take a look. And if you don't like what you see, move on. It's okay. But you're going to like it. And you will. I want to thank Chris for joining us today. And I want to thank everybody for being here. We had a nice little crowd with us today. And until next time, Chris, stick around after I hit the end of the stream here. It's your old pal Rob. We'll see you soon, everybody.